All right, Genesis International College students, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the unit CPCCCCA3014, Construct and Install Bulkheads. But specifically, we are focusing entirely on Topic 1, Plan and Prepare. Let's just jump right in because, honestly, mastering this preparation phase, that is the real secret to separating the true professionals from the amateurs on any construction site. Think of this explainer as your own personal bespoke guide to getting the job done right the very first time. We are going to walk step by step through the essential groundwork that is absolutely 100% required before any tools ever even touch the timber or metal on site. You know, there's a quote from the material that really hit the nail on the head for me. Building a bulkhead starts long before you cut any wood or metal. It just perfectly highlights that preparation is everything. We really need to lean into that classic measure twice, cut once mentality to frame everything we're exploring today. I mean, a bulkhead is designed to hide pipes, conceal wires, hold up heavy range hoods, or even just create cool different ceiling heights. But you can't just walk in and start hammering away. You've got to lay the mental groundwork first. So here is our blueprint for success today. We'll be covering 1. Interpreting instructions and plans. 2. Meeting codes and standards. 3. Tools, equipment, and PPE. 4. Site inspection and safety. And finally, 5. Preparing and staging materials. Starting with Section 1, Interpreting instructions and plans. Decoding the instructions and understanding the why. Because figuring out the why of the bulkhead is absolutely step 1. Are you building this thing just to hide some ugly air conditioning ducts, or is it structurally required to hold up heavy cabinetry? Knowing that purpose right out of the gate shapes literally every decision you make and leads straight into the sequence you've got to follow on site. So, first, you confirm the sizes with your foreperson using the absolute latest drawings. Then, you mark your chalk lines directly on the site. Next, you build the frame, but pay attention to those last points. They're crucial. You have to build it with empty space inside, keep it open for other trades like plumbers and electricians, and add fixing points for heavy items. Trade coordination is massive here. If you seal that bulkhead up too early, guess what? You'll be ripping it right back down so the aircon workers can get their pipes in. Moving on to Section 2, Meeting Codes and Standards, the rules of the game. Now, planning isn't just about grabbing a tape measure and figuring out dimensions. It's about making sure your work is actually legally allowed, structurally sound, and, safe for everyone. What's really fascinating here is how the legal framework is split into two distinct camps. On one hand, you have laws. These set your broad legal duties, like your fundamental responsibility to work safely and protect the people around you on site. On the other hand, you have regulations. These are the highly specific, detailed rules about exactly how those broad duties must be met, dictating things like safety controls, permits, inspections, and even how to handle your waste. Let's actually break down this compliance table so we can see why each level matters on the ground. Laws and regulations set the baseline for what's legally required. Below that, the National Construction Code, or NCC, is vital for everyday safety. For example, making sure your bulkhead doesn't accidentally block a smoke alarm or drop the ceiling too low, which is a major fire and safety hazard. Finally, you've got Australian standards, which provide the accepted technical requirements for exactly how materials should be installed. You really need all three of these pillars to build legally and safely. Honestly, you can think of dealing with manufacture and drawing specs a lot like following a strict recipe. Here are your 5 steps. Step 1, read the drawings and written specs. Step 2, check the current specs to make sure nothing was updated without you knowing. Step 3, match those requirements to the drawings. Step 4, plan your fixing and support details. And Step 5, check for conflicts. If you just wing it, skip reading the manufacturer specs, or swap out the specific fasteners they require, well, your whole bulkhead could literally fall apart. Which brings us to Section 3. Tools, equipment, and PPE, gearing up for the job. Okay, so this is where we shift from mental paperwork to the actual physical prep needed to execute those plans. Before you even think about picking up a drill, you need to run through your pre-start safety checklist, which covers 3 main categories. First, WHS. This is your legal safety compliance. Second, environmental rules. This means planning how you're going to sort waste, contain the dust, and keep noise down during allowed hours. And third, workplace rules. These are your company's quality expectations, like finish tolerances and inspection and test plans. Remember, controlling dust and noise is just as important as lifting heavy boards correctly. And here is a non-negotiable rule you have to take to heart before hitting the site. Inspect, tag, and report faulty tools before starting. Selecting the correct PPE and doing a pre-use check on your tools isn't just bureaucratic red tape, it is literally how you ensure you go home safely at the end of the day. If a tool is faulty, tag it out immediately and report it. No exceptions.
Next up, Section 4, Site Inspection and Safety. Locking down the work zone.
Think of this as your ultimate disaster avoidance strategy. You absolutely have to complete your hazard assessments, carefully locate and mark out concealed services, set up your safety signs and barricades, and isolate those services. Just imagine the catastrophic consequences of skipping this, like driving a screw straight into a hidden live wire or a highly pressurized water pipe. Yeah, no thanks. Setting up barricades and isolating services protects you and the entire team working around you. And finally, Section 5, Preparing and Staging Materials, the final step before building. All that legal checking, the site lockdown, the tool tagging, it all leads right to this moment, getting the actual materials in place so you can start building. In practical terms, staging simply means placing your materials safely near the work area without creating a giant tripping hazard. Good staging is a game changer. It reduces double handling, so you aren't moving heavy plasterboard twice. It prevents damage to your expensive materials, and it makes sure you aren't blocking access ways for the plumbers or electricians who need to work alongside you. So I want to leave you with this thought-provoking question to wrap up our explainer. You've got the plans, you've got the gear, and a safe site. But if your materials are sitting on the wrong floor, are you really ready to build? Staging is that critical bridge between preparation and construction. Master these preparation steps, and you'll be completely ready to tackle the actual building phase in Chapter 2. Review those plans, double-check your tools, and stay safe out there.